That looks like a Devin or David.
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You said like there's something in your end table that you this too.
My God, you're crazy.
Yeah, he's saying hi, baby girl. He's saying hi, baby girl. And is there significance with like image of a rose at all?
He would
Does that
always
make sense?
give me a rose.
Okay, so he's like doing one now. He's saying to work with some sort of like vibrational machine. Somehow a way to work with like machinery and vibration.
I work with horses, and there's actually some magnawave therapy that's vibrational.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
So he doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Allow yourself to hear yourself. Allow yourself to feel yourself. Allow yourself to talk to yourself. Allow yourself to respond to yourself. That's looking within.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
There's a reason why we're on this timeline. There's a reason why we've chosen to be in this awakening. I say we're going through a spiritual awakening.
So I don't just come on here and talk bull and repeat. I'm living this stuff.
In harmony with nature, in a mystical adventure, we're building on a culture.
Happy Thursday night live, everybody. How's everyone doing this fine Thursday evening? I've got my little Christmas festive background going on today. I figure why not celebrate for the holidays, because the holidays are here-ish. I actually put my Christmas tree up early November because I didn't do it last year, and so this year I gave myself an extra month to do so we can all enjoy it virtually in my background. Who's in the room? We have Daryl Blankenship. Welcome. Mrs. and the Mother Cruz is in the room. Y'all watch out for Mother Cruz. The wonderful mod Nina is here. We love our mod Nina. Allie Taylor, welcome. Good to see you, my love. Rashida, good to see you, and good to have a one-on-one session with you. That was great to see you face to face. Michelle Ball, welcome. Chelsea, hello. Noel, good to see you. Hope your vacation or your time away was great. Sydney Aaron, welcome. Collective Tarot, hello. Tammy Garassi, hello. Welcome too. And SP, as we know who you are, welcome. And many more in the chat. And those who are just watching, welcome aboard. Those of you who are new, what we do here is we have a lot of fun. Plus, we do live readings. And you can see right here, $15 for a card pull, $20 for one question, $30 for two questions. And the PayPal and Venmo links are in the description. You can tap there to get your questions in. A lot of the regulars have gotten them before we even started. So if you want to get your questions in, get them in now. So we do them in order. And we have Chelsea, which got missed from last week. She'll be number one. So Chelsea, if you're in the room, we got you. And then we'll do a collective read to start, and we'll do for those who are in the room and those who are, find this video along the way in the future. There'll be a collective read that we'll start with, and then we'll do a topic called Connected with Spirit. A lot of you guys want to know, how do I connect with spirit, your loved ones, or how do you access spirit? What are the things we can do? What is it like? What does it mean? We'll get into all of that in the discussion, and then we will do our live readings. Okay, so let's start by shuffling the cards, shall we? Let's see here. Deborah, welcome. Okay, let's see what we have to collective read, and they've always been a continuation from those of you who are, regulars with me and find me every week and watch me every week. There's always like a soap opera in the collective read. It's always a continuation, always a story, and I love that because we're progressing together. We're kind of going through, our collective shifts together, and I think that's a wonderful thing. This way, because I always say we don't change so drastically every week, from week to week. We still have process time. We're processing. There's not abrupt changes in a week. So, Pelican Vortex, welcome. Gaia, so welcome. So, so it's good. And so those of you who are jumping on in and maybe the first time here, ooh, I love how we're starting already. This is great. Okay. I think I'm going to take this and go this here. Okay. Gotcha. Let me pull some oracles. I love how the collective read is kind of on par with the topic today, and I'll disclose it in a second. Let me just pull some oracle cards, and boy, are they just falling out of the place here. Okay. This is going to be a very spiritual read. You know, sometimes it's conditional, sometimes it's motivational, sometimes it's emotional. This is going to be a very kind of spiritual one. And those who are watching will kind of, you know, understand, you know, what's kind of happening right now, especially because we're going through a, you know, collective shift. As you all know, you know, Pluto enters Aquarius next year, and so we got to get prepared for that. And so those who are intuitives need to understand. Wow. Okay. Those of you who are intuitives need to understand what is going on with your abilities. So the first card we pulled is a High Priestess card, and that is all about those who have psychic abilities, those who actually have psychic awareness, could be somehow in the mystical realms, also even mediumship, whatever the realm is, or the expression is when it comes to having psychic awareness and psychic ability. It's time now to understand, those of you who are watching, you might start sensing your senses awakening even more. You might be finding yourself be rather intuitive, predicting things or kind of forecasting things that are about to happen, and they happen. So this is part of the process of the awakening for 2024. We have to come to terms with our intuitive awareness and psychic awareness, not just empathy and the empathetic awareness. We need to understand we have intuition and psychic abilities, as well as we can all tap into our own loved ones in spirit and be a medium in that sense. You don't have to necessarily be able to connect with spirit for others, but we all have the access point to channel spirit, either through our spirit guides, a spiritual ancestry, or spirit that we have, those have crossed over that we've loved in the physical realm, as well as different spiritual archetypes. We all have that ability. We all have that access point. I kind of feel like this collective read is going to go into the topic, because this is really much kind of what I was going to talk about in the topic. So it might not be such a long-winded intro, which means we'll get to the questions rather soon. But so we have to understand what part of your senses are awakening right now. For those of you who are feeling more intuitive, please, when you're feeling these intuitive impulses, elaborate on it more. You know, dive deeper with it. A lot of people say, well, what do? I don't know how to develop it. It's looking at it, asking questions, go deeper with the feelings that you're having, observing it. There is really nothing, and let me change this banner here for those who are coming in, because we're doing the collective read. For those of you that think that there's some sort of like magical, you know, tuning to do to get into your intuition to expand it more, all you have to do is keep diving deep. I would say curiosity is the gateway to experience. And so just be more curious of what you're feeling. A lot of people even fear the fact that, oh my God, I predicted something. Don't fear that. Expand upon that, because right now it's really time for each different person who are light workers and those who have these intuitive and psychic abilities to bring it to the table now. Because as we move into 2024, whatever you are doing in your life is going to require that insight, and it's going to require that insight to be on board with the collective and the humanitarianism phase that we're going through as Pluto enters the age of Aquarius. So if you really want that abundance for 2024, you're going to have to really expand the intuitive aspects and the psychic abilities, because it's going to be a very intuitive, I would say, phase in 2024. It's going to be very, I would say, in flow of that sense, and you're going to want to feel the flow and what's going on with the collective too, not just with yourself. So please start elaborating on that. Listen to what you're hearing and go deeper with it. Because they're saying, like, right now it's like a life is suspended for a lot of people with the Hangman. It's always like my life suspended, you know, and I always like to say the Hangman is always when if you imagine the idea of, you know, you have to kind of get a plant out of its bad soil and you want to kind of plant it in new soil, but as you're going to plant it in new soil, it's kind of suspended in midair until you plant it into the better soil. That's kind of where a lot of you guys are at right now, is your life is suspended. You get to maneuver in that suspension through your intuition, through your impulses. We all have intuition. Not everybody has psychic awareness, but most people can tap into psychic awareness if you start with the intuitive impulses first. So a lot of guys need to get into the intuitive aspects that are being loud and clear and dive deeper with that by overly questioning what you're feeling. That's how you really do that, and practicing that. It's like working out a muscle. It's like flexing a muscle too and working it out. You got to keep working the same thing out every day, builds strength in the muscle. Same thing with your intuition and your psychic awareness. You got to keep flexing it. You got to keep working it out. And so I think a lot of you guys will start realizing the injustices in your life, because I think right now for a lot of you guys, the things that are out of balance in your life, they're trying to knock on your door and say, excuse me, you might want to get rid of this. Excuse me, we're going to start elevating right now. You know you need to get rid of that relationship. You know you need to get rid of that job. You know you need to get rid of those ideas. It's time to start doing it right now. And so you're going to start seeing that separation as we're going into 2024, mainly for those who are already aware, mainly for those who are already light workers. That's going to really be obvious. Please allow your intuition to get that on board, to get those, I would say paradigms in the ones that need to be in the past, keep them in the past. The ones that need to be in the future, move it on to the future. You know what you have to do. It's not that complicated. It's not that difficult. We know we need to say goodbye to something. We need to say goodbye to something. And it's really about trusting that. Trusting the realizations and having a hunger for it too. You gotta want. If your intuition and your psychic abilities and awareness is really expanding, you should have a hunger for that. You should be like, this is a power. I don't want to fear it. I also don't want to discard it. I want to actually ride on that. I want to bank on my intuition. I want to expand that. You guys should have that hunger for that. Why would you guys push it away? Ask yourself this: if you're having intuition about circumstances in your life, why the hell would you push it away? Especially if it's giving you insight of what you need to do and what you want to become, why would you push it away? And for those of you that fear it, why would you fear it? If it's a power, if it's something that's going to be the access point to what you want and to your growth and to let go of the things that are causing pain, why would you deny it? Why would you be afraid of it? Right? So they're saying, remember, having the hunger to expand that ability, having the hunger to expand your psychic ability, psychic awareness, connection to spirit, whatever that may be for you. They're saying bring that into focus, into full focus, because the more you tap into that aspect, the more you tap into the true version of self. And that's where you have more clarity, more perception, more perspective on things. Things are more expanded for you as far as when you're getting information on things. It's very clear for you. You're getting this inspired action relatively easily, right? But this is where, a lot of the this is funny, protection. I was just talking about this before with lovely Nina, actually. I don't like the word protection because we have so much power, but we still have to have protection, or at least security of ourselves energetically, so we don't allow any energy in. And usually we have to protect ourselves from ourselves, because we have to make sure we are not making we're not making the wrong decisions of having the wrong people in our lives or allowing the wrong energy to fester around us. We have to protect ourselves from our own decisions. And it's more about being aware. And being aware and understanding, look, I don't feel right about this, so therefore it's got to go. And not contemplating, not reveling in it, just understanding it's got to go. And so that's how you protect yourself, by eliminating those dichotomy of energies that are not in favor for what you want for the future or what you even want currently. So it's really time to set the boundaries. We can call it boundaries, call it protection, whatever it is, but you do that by making conscious decision to do so, by making conscious and constant changes to eliminate what has been anchoring you down, and no longer making excuses for that any longer. And that's where, at this time now, if you keep pushing that away, your intuitions get louder. It's going to get louder. You're going to feel even more of a push, and it might even create and manifest anxiety to let you know that you're out of balance and you're actually not focusing on yourself. You're not listening to yourself. So it's simple, but y'all need the reminder, because a lot of you guys are accelerating and ascending. I'm like, which word do I want to use? Accelerating or ascending? You're kind of doing both. You're kind of quickly ascending with your abilities. I don't know if I want to call it abilities as much as I want to call it awareness. You guys are accelerating on that, but you all need the guidance on how to do so and stop pushing it aside. You need the reminder today to stop pushing your abilities aside, because your intuition is where it's at. Okay, and leading into the topic now of connecting with spirit, the same thing here. We all have access to our spirit guides, to spiritual ancestry. We have access to, we call it the Akashic Records, which is the infinite intelligence. Some people call it God. I call it source energy. We all have access to that. And the way we gain access to that is through meditation. But I always tell people, people say, I got to meditate because I need to get spiritual, so I got to meditate. It's like, well, don't meditate. You just calm your mind down and you go back to your stress and anxiety. So meditate with intention. So if you want to connect with your guides, meditate with the intention of connecting with your guides. Okay, if you want to consort with spiritual archetypes, angels, whatever you find, accessible to you in that sense, whatever your knowledge is of, use meditation to intentionally to connect with those spiritual archetypes. That's how you do that. Especially if it's a loved one that's crossed over, you could use meditation to communicate and to gain insight information and keep that consistency going to connect with spirit. And the way to really get the information is to allow the information to come in. A lot of times people second guess the information from spirit. Like, oh, am I just making it up? You're making it all up. I'm making this up. Does it mean it's not authentic? We make up all our relationships. Does that mean it's not a real relationship? You're making it all up. That's the point. Imagination is the God space. Imagination doesn't just mean you're creating things or making things up. Imagination is also a receptive space from spirit. So please understand, imagination is creation and receptivity. There's a duality to creation. So when you're in an imaginative state, you can either create what you know you're creating, kind of putting things forward, or you're actually receiving. So imagination doesn't mean it's fake. So a lot of guys will say, I don't know if I'm imagining it. You're imagining all of this. You're imagining even my conversation right now. You're processing that. That's the God state, is the imagination. And that is the access point to spirit to get the receptivity and the information. So utilize your imagination as a port, as a channel, as a conduit. And you'll be able to clearly decipher the differences between you're actually outputting energy from the imaginative space, creating, or receiving by being mediumistic per se. And so you all should really practice that and understand what you're receiving versus what your output. You know the difference. And so if you question that you're making something up, it's chances are you're not making it up. You have to question if you're making it up. You would know. You just don't believe you're receiving information from spirit. A lot of guys think you have to have like decades of experience just to receive information from spirit, and that's false, because we all are receiving information from spirit, a lot of times unconsciously. Right now, it's time to be very conscious about that, so we can actually get the guidance that we need, but also hear our own soul through the distortion and distraction of physical reality and the physical ego and the physical persona. We need to understand and see the differences between all that. This we understand. Okay, this is my physical ego that's has these desires and these needs, and this is my soul desire, my soul needs, and to be able to be objective with the two, I would say, layers of ourselves, the spiritual and physical. So meditate with intention and allow yourself to access your own spirit guides. Allow yourself to access spiritual ancestry. A lot of spirit will come knocking on your door if you allow it. This is why this is the reason why a lot of people, when they do, say, the Ouija board, have a lot of negative experiences, because they're just trying to exploit it. But when you knock, the door will open. So that's what I'm saying. Do it in a way and connect with spirit in a way that's positive, in a way that can really connect and to establish your own abilities and your own spiritual information. So you learn more about yourself. And then you also can better create and understand your trajectory moving forward. This is why a lot of people go to us psychics to figure out what's going on in their trajectory, what's their karmic past, and what's their karmic lessons and patterns and debts, and then needing the guidance to know how to maneuver around such. So again, it's really important to understand, when you allow yourself to be a conduit, you're not just talking to spirit, you're talking to your own higher self, which I just, again, is called our soul, as our higher self, which is the true self. That the soul will put you through anything you need to do to grow and learn. And if you're out of sync of the soul, like I said in the last live, it will bang you around a bit. It will give you a health issue. It will give you a bad relationship, to wake you up, to get you to snap out of it. And it'll intensify until you do. And so the more you allow yourself to connect with spirit in general, which, again, when I say spirit in general, I'm talking about our own soul, spiritual, our spirit guides, also our spiritual, ancestry, as well as any type of angelic archetype or a demonic archetype. There's different polarities of such. It's your choice, what you want to use to grow and to learn as power. And so I would start doing so with intentional meditation. It's very important. This is why a lot of people who do meditation doesn't work, because they don't know what they're doing it for. It's like, okay, I'm going to meditate, just wait for something to happen. It's like we have to activate for something to happen. Remember this and allow yourselves to use spirit as that access point too for information and guidance that you're really looking for. All right. I think I'm going to keep it kind of short too on that, because it's just kind of a reminder for you guys about this is where you're at. A lot of you guys' abilities are starting to awaken hardcore, even those that maybe have not had any type of psychic ability, starting to have it. Even guys who are, maybe some of you guys have not even had such intuitive awareness, and that's becoming very, active as well. So keep expanding it. Again, it's like working out. You have to keep expanding on it, get knowledge on it, and make it a routine for you. If you don't, then you're going to miss out on it. And then by the time 2024 comes around, and if you're not focused on that, a lot of you guys will feel like you're in a tunnel. Things are just happening. You feel out of control. You know what's going on, what's happening, and so we don't want that to happen because, again, we have to prepare for 2024 and when things shift in 2024. And you'll get more of that, I would say, if you watch Christopher Wojcicki in Serious Joy, he'll tell you more about the planets that are going on and why, what planet is where. That I'm still dumb to when it comes to what planet's where. And I just know that we're getting to the age of Aquarius next year, and that's going to be a massive, massive shift for the collective. And those who are not on board, they're going to have a very hard time. Those who have been are going to be easy for us, like a flip. Tables will be turned. Okay, that's that. Let's get to the live readings now. Any questions though about that topic? We were just saying. Michelle Ball, co-creating, receiving from the divine. Yes, but the co-creating experience is for me where we are the true creators of our lives. The co-creating part is when we're getting the guidance or insight, but it's still us, right? What we don't realize is we have so much of source going through us that we don't need help creating our lives. And I think this is the misconception about things, is that we get, and let me clarify on the help in the sense of, we need the physical help. The soul doesn't need help. So sometimes we need the guidance in the sense. That's where the co-creating part comes in. But the soul is going to do what it needs to do regardless. And so we are the soul creators of our experiences. But the co-creating comes when we get lost in the physical dimension. We get too dense. So that's where the co-creating really comes in. It's more guidance, but we are the soul creators of such. But we can say co-creators because we are part of source. But I want people to understand, and the reason I'm being overly philosophical about that is because a lot of people think that they have to wait for Source to tell them what to do. And it's like, no, Source is it's up to us. Source can give you a reflection, but still our creations. We've already created it prior to incarnating. Our soul already created what we want to fulfill in this lifetime prior to incarnating. So it's already created. So the co-creating is more like co-playing, I would say, because we need to make realizations on the physical format so we don't get lost. That's where the guidance comes from, if that makes sense. And because I think sometimes people, wait for what's God's plan for me? What's God's calling? It's like, it's your calling. Ask God to help you, to remind you of that while you're lost in the density. It's the guidance that we get. So I would hate to be overly philosophical about that, but I want people to kind of see the true power that we really do have, that we've already created our experience already. SP, what type of medication? What type of medication? What kind of medication you prefer? Well, psychedelics. No. What type of meditation do you recommend to connect with spirit? Like I said, intentional meditation. So meditation is meditation. So you can use binaural beats to do so. You can use, I would say, hypnosis, audios to also get you into a theta state, to relax and to release the conscious mind. But I would just say, if you do conscious mind, or you do any type of exercise or meditation to settle and to silence the conscious mind, whatever that may be, you're just getting yourself to the state of awareness, of receptivity of spirit, the allowance mode. So there's really no specific type of meditation. You can do transcending meditation, that's fine, but even simple meditation, it's all the same thing. It's, again, transcending meditation is a different intention. That's why they call it transcending meditation. So you just have a different intention. That's why I call it to have intentional meditation, because when you get into meditation, you have a reason for doing it. And there's a goal to be reached and an outcome that you want to fulfill. Then you'll realize you're being affected with it. A lot of people just go into meditation, I'm meditating, now what? I have so many thoughts, now what? Okay, I don't know what's going on here. And they just they have no attention. They think there's some sort of, because they close their eyes and breathe a couple breaths, that somehow the heavens are supposed to open up. No, none if you don't intend to. So again, I'd say intentional meditation. That's what I like. I call it all the time. People make it so complicated in that regard. And the more you practice that, like I'm a Virgo rising, Aquarius Virgo rising. My mind is always going and going, but I used to find it difficult to not be able to shut down the thoughts. But now it's like easy. It can easily just shut down the thoughts. And so with practice, you can easily just go meditation. Like no thoughts. I can just silence them. So you want to practice that as well with intention. So simple, guys. All this is very, very simple. Again, everyone that complicates it, the results are complex, and the results are astounding, but the way to get there is so simple. It's so easy. It's like 1 + 1, you know. And if you guys let it be that simple, then the consistency will expand it, and you'll allow it to kind of develop more of that awareness. Okay? All right, so guys, I'm going to start the live readings. Those who have questions, get them in now. Okay? Because once I'm done, I will close. And if you didn't get your question in, then I don't know what to say. Then you don't get it in. Okay, Deanna, are you in the room? Deanna, are you in the room? Because we wanted to start with you first from last week. Miss Deanna Corley, are you here? I don't know if I said if you are. Do a wave, and I will do your reading from last week. I'm tongue-tied today, and so I'll wait till you say yes, and then we'll go on with it, because I don't want to do it and then you're not here, because that would suck. Okay, let's go to Daryl Blankenship card pull for Mr. Daryl Blankenship. Let's put on the theta waves, shall we? Sometimes we forget to do that. And Nina, before you head out, just see if Deanna is in the room. There you go. She was ahead of me. You were right ahead of me, Nina. Meditation with attention. All right, this is for Daryl Blankenship. Let me see. All right. I think there's a legal thing here, Mr. Daryl. I don't want to say it feels like someone is out to get you. It's not that energy, but there might be someone there's going to be some sort of legal issue involving somebody that I feel like is claiming something. I don't know if it's money related. It seems like it's like a communal thing, but I think it's going to work in your favor. Let me see if I get more information on this. Oh, it's nonsense. Okay, someone's gonna try to come at you with a lawsuit or some legality. It's gonna be complete nonsense. I feel like someone is trying to, I would say, stick it to you. The best way I can say it. And I think because, maybe you have not budged on a decision, they're gonna want to try to threaten with some sort of legality. I just feel like it's nonsense. I don't think that they're actually going to do any of that in that way. It's not an enemy per se. It's like a legality of some sort. It might come up. It could be. It's like I said, it's communal, so it doesn't feel like it's someone like a friend, right? It could be something like a small legality that you just end up winning. It's a future thing. It's not a friend. It feels like someone outside of this. So it's more like a predictive thing. I think that when it comes in, it might be like a paper you get in the mail. You're like, what is this? This, a legality about this, and then you get it kind of squared away. I'm trying to see why that's going to happen, because like there's a lesson behind that, like a karmic lesson. And the karmic lesson for me is that you got to like really kind of, you have to understand the connections you've made and how to close them down, I would say. And I think this is kind of correlating what I was saying with the collective read about protecting yourself and having boundaries. It's going to be like a reminder about something of the past coming through, trying to like claim something about you or something of that nature. And it might even be just a legality. It could just be someone from the past coming and trying to provoke something or saying they're entitled to something of that nature. So if it's not legality, it's something of that nature, someone coming through from the past. And I think it's just, you basically just say, F off. You know what I'm saying? In that regard. It's more predictive. I don't think it's anything that's going on currently. It's just kind of, you should be more aware about those that may have negative intentions around you. You know, not to be in fear or anything of that nature, but I think sometimes you might be a little unconscious to that, and this situation might remind you of that. And I think it's small, it's minute, but it might be an annoyance that you just like a little fly that you have to swat away. You know. Let me see if there's anything additional with that, Daryl, because, yeah, and you know, it might be the injustice of just the fact that someone might be saying something false, you know, and it might not be a legality, like I said, because a justice card came up, and I'm like, it might not be legality, it might just be like an injustice that someone's saying something not true. You know, and then it comes to light that they're not honest about it. So I'm sitting on that, like I'm trying to push the cards away and just kind of sit with the energy on that. It might be someone just comes out and says something false and tries a little bicker, you know, and you have to like, in kind of like a retaliation, and you have to defend against it, and you win because the truth comes out. Okay. But you'll be fine in the end. Either way, you'll be fine in the end. Okay, this is for Stephanie. It's not scary, Daryl. It's not. It's just you gotta understand that people have mouths and when to like shut things down. You know, could be family, could be something like that, but it'll make sense when it comes about. All right, Stephanie, Pena Herrera. This AM, I texted Ashley about I wanted to moving forward, more consistency, more quality time as we were going into the 6th year. I just felt the need to put it out there. No response from him. Of course. Now this is a situation where we take a future and we change it, right? So it's the pressure. Remember Stephanie said about the we call it the hesitation, the procrastination, making excuses, right? All that. Anything that gives pressure doesn't know how to respond to it. So that's what I was saying. You're changing, which is going to change the course of this. Now, like it's kind of common when this happens. The minute you pull away, guess what happens? They come running, right? So I'm glad you put that in his lap, and now just wipe your hands of that, because I do feel like he's processing it. I feel like he's kind of pondering things. I feel like he's also trying to figure out, you know, what do I do and what do I say? I don't know what to say. He's never a quick responder anyway, Stephanie. When does he ever come back with a quick response to something that's, you know, requires emotions? Never. He's never quick on shit. So he's got to process it. He's got to overanalyze. At first, he's kind of taken aback, right? And so now he's kind of taken aback. It's like, okay, what do I do? Because, you know, I don't know if I should commit and more, and how does that look like? And what if I don't? Am I going to lose her? So he's going, actually, his mind is going amok, you know? He's got Pisces in him. There's some Pisces in him. Pisces or Aries, I feel like, somewhere in his chart. I don't know. But I feel like it's going to take him time. It might take him 3-4 days or a week to say, hey, you know, we got to talk about it in person, or, you know, something of that nature. I feel like it's going to be like that. And so, but, you know, I think that you setting your boundaries on this is good too. So look, we're kind of in the same paradigm of setting boundaries. You should. So I think that you definitely want to be able to don't respond to your response and let it happen. But he'll come through, he'll follow through, he'll try to want to meet in person, do something collectively in person, and try to do something to solidify, if not bring things closer. And so it's good that you did, because you want more, you're going to need more, and I feel like, again, in the end, it's not going to be, he's not going to satisfy that. You've been changing and elevating, where that's unorthodox. You need to, let me just put it this way. You need to be the main girl. I said it before. I'll say it again. You need to be the main girl. And I think that his reaction, either way, will still feel like you're not the main girl. It's going to bother you either way. Even if he makes a little bit of a decision to appease you, you'll be like, it's still not enough for me. That's where you're going to be with it. So I think it's good. I think you need to. With that. But he's pondering. He's like, oh God, what I say? God, what I do? He's kind of pushed off. Like, she wants more, but so he's flustered. All right. But remember, it's going to take him time to like fall through and respond, which is typical of him, I would say, if I'm right. Well, Daryl, well, there you go. So someone's going to, is going to come out and try to like say something negative about you, or, you know what I mean? So, you know, just expect that and understand how to shut things down, Daryl. All right. So you said, Daryl, you have no enemies, but you're saying people are jealous of your success. Bada bing, bada boom. The message is on par with that. Okay. Is Deanna in the room? Did Deanna come to the room at all? I haven't heard from her, so I'm going to wait until she comes in because I want to make sure she can get that. You should, please, because we want to guide you through this. Because, you know, I know your soul, I see where your soul is going. And so I know what your soul is going to be one to experience, and it wants more, and it wants unconventional, but it wants more. He's too, there's that flaky, airy thing to me, that, and then overthinking that just, it's not, doesn't work well with you in the future, how you're growing. That's the problem I've had. Okay. Noelle Way. Noelle, hello. Good to see you. How you been, girl? Noelle? Good to see you. Christopher Wachecki's in the room. Hello, Christopher. All right, Noelle, we're doing your card pull. That's kind of funny. I get to Noelle's card pull, and then Christopher hops on at the same time. Talk about good timing. All right, let's see a card pull. I'm going to change my deck, actually. I don't know if that deck is really, is the energy. This deck just has better charge on it for some reason. Yeah. C-Dub. It was a timing, though. Chris comes in right when I'm doing Noelle's card pull. I love it. Okay. But Daryl, what I said is going to make a lot of sense. Make a lot of sense for you. You want a new card pull? I gotta look at this. This is business, but it's like when I get the people, I'm like, okay, well, where are these people coming from, and what's the message with these just 3 different people they're trying to discuss? Let me do more on this because I want to get clear on that, on the people. I feel like, again, with you, Noelle, speak up, because if there's somebody in a work environment or someone that you're working with that bothers you, you need to speak up. If there's some sort of issue with a worker, or even someone that even an investor, just somebody, you have to speak up. You can't let them irritate you and let them babble on, right? So if someone is throwing something out of balance and something's throwing out of whack, I think it requires you to speak up to acknowledge that and to put things back into balance. Because I feel like, again, there's maybe 1 or 2 individuals that maybe are not doing things the way they should be doing things, and you're not really speaking up about it. You know, and so I think this is the time that you have to, and you might think it's an unpopular point of view or an unpopular opinion, but you might realize it's not so unpopular as you think. Right? And it doesn't mean that everyone has to go and be cast to hell. It just means that you have to stand up and say, you know, by the way, I don't like this here and what this person is doing. We need to somehow tame this, or we need to settle this. And so I that's going to help others in this situation, you know, and don't just give your opinion when it's asked for. Sometimes you're going to have to, especially in business and work environment, sometimes you're going to have to be assertive and be more overt about it to be able to speak up. And I think a lot of times you might realize people will be glad you said something. And so it's really important for you to stand up, because I feel like there's like two individuals, there's a male and a female around you, either attached to business or work, that you're not really kind of giving your true information or your true perspective on, that it needs to be. You need to, and stand up and say something. I think once you do, you'll realize there are more people on board with you than not. And it might even help the people that you're actually raising their awareness to. You might even help them to understand they need to take a chill pill. They need to shut the hell up. I mean, it's a lot of talking around. And I think that's going to really help people, okay? And help people in those are connected, because they're saying you have great ideas and you have great insight into others too, that sometimes people need to have that guidance. I think that you're around other strong people, and sometimes, you know, the strong people are so in their own element that they're not really paying attention, and they think they know what they're doing, but you're starting to say, you're on the outside saying they really don't know what they're doing, they don't have clear insight, but you're afraid to say something because there might be a very strong individual, and they're saying, don't. You need to stand up and say something nicely. So using your voice, speaking up is kind of the card pull here, and it's not going to be where, again, people have to go to hell. It's going to be more bringing a balance, and so I think it's positive. But I think you might be feeling suffocated by not saying something, if that makes sense. But you will, and it will work out in your favor in the end too, as far as the circumstance, whatever that might be. Yeah, I mean, because I was seeing Noel, like there's like a female and a male, particularly, and there's like I was showed team like three people. One kind of is like in favor of you, like it's a very charismatic gentleman, and then the female is kind of like not. The communication's bad, and the other male is kind of like just, you know, in his own head, is kind of like oblivious to others, and so you're dealing with the imbalances of the two out of the three in some nature. So, but the one male is kind of headstrong, listens to you, but the other two are just like, it's just rambunctious, and it's giving me a headache, actually. You know what I'm saying? It's giving me a massive headache between the three people. So, you know, but I think that when you speak up, I think people are going to be thankful that you did. And, you know, look, sometimes we all got to be put in check. Sometimes people put me in check. I'm like, oh, thank God. You know, sometimes I can't shut the fuck up. And so sometimes people throw something in. I'm like, thank you. I just was going, and I'm glad you helped me stop. So, two male partners and my direct boss is a female. Yeah. So, but the one of the male energy seems to be like on board with you. You know what I'm saying? So the one male energy seems to be like, you know, charming, like really is kind of playing a diplomat. And the other two are kind of like the boss is kind of like, and the other male is like kissing the ass of the boss, I feel like. You know, and causing more freaking problems, and just won't shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So, so speak up, but you know how to do it in a way that's very calming and insightful, but also powerful enough where people don't feel judged. So you're good at that. So use the ability that you have to do it. I said that with an accent. To do it. Sorry guys, I bit my cheek today, so I'm slipping on my words, because when you bite your cheek, it gets a little canker sore and it's like hard to talk. So, you ever do that? You ever bite your freaking cheek? I hate that. Okay, Chelsea Manica, card pull. Oh, those other two, God, give me a headache, Noel. Ugh. Love you too, sweetheart. All right, this is for Chelsea Manica. Manica, Chelsea. Where are you? Are you in the room, Chelsea? You're in the room, right? All right, just shuffling. Let's see what they say about Chelsea. One moment. I need to freshen up on an interpretation. Because remember, guys, I'm not a tarot reader. I'm a psychic medium, but I use tarot. Sometimes as I need to freshen up. Good. That's what I thought. Thank you. They're saying you have, Chelsea, this is positive for me. I think it's, I see an upward trajectory. and not paying attention to cards, I would say that things that have been kind of in disarray conditionally, I think you're finding your way now. They're saying you're realizing and going to realize you have what you need. I feel like there's going to be progression in your home life in a sense of, with either a new home or you're solidifying a home in a sense, or living circumstance is going to be solidified. And so it feels like an agreement somehow. So maybe somehow you'll have, if you're trying to claim a house, maybe you get the house. If you're trying to get a location in a settlement, you get it. So I think that, and this is kind of like future oriented. So they're saying that you're all realizing now you have what you need, and you're kind of moving forward with this. And so I think that you're going to find success in agreement with your living circumstances, with your home life. Like I said, if it's an agreement with the home, an agreement with your living circumstances, that's going to be made and put into action for you. So it might even be, again, that you're actually moving forward, and if it's a divorce, then you're realizing during this divorce, I'm actually going to be able to live in the home or keep the home, and I have what I need. And so I think that's going to be solidified for you. And having that security, you're going to have that security in that sense, even through the kind of chaotic conditional mess that was happening previously. They're saying that's actually expanding, and you'll have the security of the home. So if you're worrying about the home situation, or whether you have the home or be in the home, they're saying that yes, that will be secured, and it's like an agreement somehow with that. Okay. So it's positive, and I feel like, even just in the emotional aspects of this, that you're tired of being complacent, and you've been actually pushing forward just emotionally. May not have been doing it so much physically, but emotionally you're pushing that through now, and that will be kind of a result that you'll have the agreement of the conditions after the fact, and you wouldn't have to necessarily worry about the house. Is the kind of the message there, and so. Which is interesting, because the Four of Wands is all about new home and securing a home, and that's what came up, after the Son of Pentacles and having everything you need in your disposal in your hands right now. So I think that you're going to move forward in next year. I think you're going to actually decide to separate, divorce next year, and the agreements of the house and financials will be actually in your favor in a sense. Okay. Thank you for I created it myself actually, because I have my virtual room my astral room that I've created, and then I just do it in a little Christmas tree and a wreath. The other one had lights, but it was too much gaudy. Well, if you pause on the divorce, then yes, there might be a new home or something, an agreement of such. So that's probably you moving forward in a sense, but I still think that you might still file next year. I think that's you letting kind of go. I think you might realize things are going in your favor, and next year I think you'll decide to file next year, actually. And that's a bold statement, but I still think you're going to do so, and you'll have the home that will be secured for you. So, no, I still think that later next year you'll decide to file. So I think it's good you're saying I'm going to put it off, because you're just not thinking about it. You're allowing yourself to proceed. That's good. We wanted you in that energy state, but you're going to find things are working in your favor, and by the time late next year, you'll be like, I'm ready to file. I'm ready. I'm good. So it's good to see a date on that or time on that, but the energy space you're at now is what's helping this to manifest in your future, because you're saying to yourself, like, I'm letting it go, I'm accepting the conditions as need to be, and like I was trying to tell you, I think the last reading we had here, is that when you accept it and accept the conditions what they are, you can move forward and get what you need. So now your future's rendering, you're going to get what you need, and that's going to make you leave sooner than you think. I like it. So you've been doing what we've been saying to do. You've been taking up on that guidance. So now there's actually, no, you'll decide to file next year. Yeah. I think it's the first time I saw a prediction on that for you, which is good. And the house will work out in your favor. They really want to kind of emphasize the house thing, and that'll make sense when it happens too next year. So that's great. Okay, let me go to my PayPal, because I know I have my notifications. I went from Carlo Taco. I think. Bear with me un momento. Let me log on in. Yeah, man, how can I not do a holiday theme? You know? It's Christmas. Sorry, wrong PayPal. Sorry, guys. Bear with me one moment. And why is this not plugged in? Okay. Let's see here. All right. I love how we're in 2023. It still takes forever to load a simple website. Anytime now. Okay. All right. Carla Toko. And just a card pull. Good, Chelsea. I'm seriously, I can see it's really reflecting in the read. It really is. And so, yeah. I've also in this live decided to not make the lights so bright because I was like, it was washing me out. The other lives, I was like, it looks like pale. So I had to fix the lighting, make it a little more. I didn't look pale. Okay. But good job, Chelsea. I think 2024 is gonna be. I just see you empowered, and all the ducks are in a row. Look at this with Mrs. Carla. Okay. Look at her, Miss Intuitive Carla. I'm actually. This is my color. It's just I'm not as tan as normal. It's just the lights are different. I just make sure the lights weren't so bright on me. Because I looked like I was pale. This is my natural color. I was looking so pale. You couldn't even see my hairline. It looked like I was like had no hair. But okay, Carla. They're saying they really are trying to urge you. It's kind of on board with the collective read that you have intuition, that you should start be practicing your abilities. You should really start, you know, it's funny, they're showing me like tea leaves, but it's not so much they're saying to do tea leaves, but something of a very cultural thing you should do to access and to enhance your psychic abilities, Carla. So I think that you definitely need to tap into that. They're even saying if you were to do tarot and tap into that ability in time, you'd be able to actually do readings if you wanted to. So it's interesting to see a lot of you guys in the room, your abilities are starting to kind of expand. So they're saying that you do have psychic abilities. They're also saying mediumship abilities. And that you should really tap into that and really practice that. Even if you were to study it, and to train on such, they're really pushing you to do that, and to bring in some more change. I think you've allowed relationships to kind of get in the way in your life. I think you've allowed relationships to kind of suffocate you, and kind of you haven't really seen outside the realm of responsibility for relationships in your life. That I think that removing that and tapping into the psychic ability that you have, because I feel like you also have ancestry, maternal ancestry that has psychic and mystical abilities. I think that you want to start tapping into that and be more insightful about the relationships in your life too, not just romantic, but even just your family and friends and so forth, and allowing yourself to push it outward and clear your space a little bit more. But they're saying you could be a downright reader, and that you should be practicing that and getting into it. Okay, it's a process, takes time to develop, but when you already have the ability, then it's just expressing it. And not everyone has that ability to be a reader. So once you have the ability to be a reader, all it is just applying yourself and exercising that and allowing it to be accessible. It's like those who could sing. You see some training to get their singing on board and develop their unique sound, but they have a voice, they could sing, right? Same thing with abilities. You have the ability, get it in gear. Because they're showing like you could be a reader. Bring some competition. That's cool. I like that. I really like that for Carla. We need more good light workers. We need more. Holly Patterson. Card pull, please. I love that. BL, hello, welcome. Yeah, I'm not. The thing is, this is my color. I'm not even tan. I just have different lighting. If you see some of my Instagram videos where I'm like doing just the phone casually, I'm not pale like I was in my other lives. I think Daryl said something like it didn't even look like I had like a hairline. I'm like, you could see it with this lighting. You can see my hairline. I cut it really short. But it's all we fix as you go, right? Yeah, Carla, you have a divine connection there. You should really tap in on that. And just so you know, the High Priestess card doesn't come for people who are just intuitive. Okay, the High Priestess card comes from people who have actual abilities. Big difference. So we all have intuition, you know. Well, that's why we're telling you, my love. You haven't thought about it because that's what we're telling you. Because you need to think about it. So get tarot cards or get something that's, you know, cultural that you can do as readers. They were showing me tea leaves, but I think that's just a symbol of like doing something cultural in that sense. But whatever your culture does to, like, you know, to tap into that ability, do so. Do so. Even if it's like doing candle magic in that sense, you know. Okay. All right. Holly, I like this. I like this. Let me pull an oracle card for her in this one too. What is that? You have a beautiful head. Gerald, sometimes the things that you say. I hope so, because, you know, it would suck to have a stupid head if you know, and to be, you know, have a shaved head. That'd be horrible. But I used to have very thick hair. Very thick hair. And I had long hair down to here. I had every hairstyle, every color. I mean, that's probably why I think I got thin. I did so much with it. So it's funny. I had thick, beautiful hair, and it's thin now. But I'm smart enough to say, hey, well, it is what it is. Shave it off. That's right. I do have my diamonds in today because I just figured I need to just change things up. My black ones or the gold ones didn't look good with the shirt, so I actually thought about that. And we're still shuffling for Holly. Holly, you're gonna have. There's a lot of quick movement going on here. Okay, it feels like a job promotion to me. Either job promotion or an expansion of work, right? And I think this is gonna be the quick success starting early 2024. February 12th is going to be a significant date for you. February 12th, okay? It might be a meeting, something of that nature. You meet with someone, a contractual, I don't know. Something with the 12th of February is important in this. And I think that, again, it seems to be there's going to be a lot of competition on this, or a lot, you know, coming at you on this, but you got it. You have it, you know? And that I think that might be the trepidation is the competition and the space that you'll be in with work. But I think at the same time, it's going to be easy. This connection or this relationship or contractual thing, whatever it is, it's going to happen quickly. Success in the business sphere is going to be rather quick in the beginning of 2024. And they're just saying, as much as you will have it in your favor, and there'll be a lot of competition or a lot of, you know, I'll say things to decipher. They're also saying to stand your ground too. You know, stand your ground. It could be as simple as that. You know, you're saying to yourself that no, this is what I offer. I'm not changing it. You know, and so good success in career. You know, this is not so much saying that you should be self-reflecting right now. They're saying that you kind of, you know, you have been self-reflecting. So you're kind of like, you've gained insight into your power, and you've gained insight into what is really best for you and what works for you, and that you're not going to accommodate anybody any longer. So you're kind of like, this is the ability that I have. This is the skill sets that I have. Fuck them. And so I'm going to hit home with it. So that type of, determination is what's actually bringing to you that success and the big major breakthrough in career early 2024. It seems pretty big to me. Either it's that contract you're trying to get, or that, you know, business connection or promotion, some elevation of that sense, if not all the above. And the person you meet the right male energy that has that control to do so, right? So that's actually good. I like that. That's another good one. Okay. Back to Venmo. See, I'm doing good. I make sure I'm going one by one. I don't want to miss anybody. Did Deanna come in the room? Deanna, where are you? Rashida. Any financial guidance from my gods for 2024? Financial guidance. Well, I mean, let me see. Any financial guidance? I mean, you're gonna hate me on this one. Save. So instead of paying me $30, you should only pay me $20, and kind of put two questions in one there a little bit. I'm kidding, but they're saying that. Let me see what you aren't doing and what you could be doing and what you'll need to be doing. They're actually saying to invest. It's interesting. They're saying to think about investing money, not just in like stocks and stuff like that, but not investing like that, but investing in yourself. And so that's what they want you to do. So almost like putting money into yourself, into your work, will bring more back to you. So like invest financially, invest in yourself financially. And I think that's going to return the value that you need in what you're wanting to do with work. So they're saying to invest, and to almost like be deciphering your priorities. You know, you might be say to yourself that actually these are gold and silver. Actually, these are gold backing with diamond, and these are gold. See how Virgo I am in OCD and ADD? But investing your money, investing in a way that's, going to invest in yourself, and that's going to bring a return. And then looking at other things that you might be spending upon yourself that isn't investing in yourself and eliminating that, they're saying. It's the flow of energy they want you to do that's going to expand your financial abundance and attraction to financial abundance and link you to the opportunities that will be giving to you the financial rewards. I mean, I hate to call it rewards because financial, return is just a return. It's giving back on your investments. So if you're investing more in yourself for 2024, then you're going to see a lot more that come back because you're putting money into something you believe in. You're putting money into something that is you, and you're doing it. So therefore, the reward is going to be great. A great reward. So that's what they're saying as far as a financial advice, and then you'll see more coming. So it's like, again, in order to, like, when you gamble, you have to put money in to get money back, right? But in a sense, when you're investing in something will give you a return, you'll get the return. So see it in that way. Second question, any insight regarding the major dream state I had on Sunday? What was the dream state? Or the dream that you had? Help me, just tell me the dream so I can interpret that, because I don't have the bandwidth right now to try to pull it for time's sake. So just, what is a dream, Rashida? Put it in the box there. And tell me what you are, what the question about the dream. I mean, I feel like the dream is more about telling you about an idea, like telling you to me it feels like an idea. And looking at the ideas and almost like you're being inspired spiritually to envision ideas, to get like almost downloads of inspiration for ideas, and to allow the dream state to give you those inspirations and ideas. Okay? That's kind of what they're saying with that message, with the dream. You know what I mean? So I think you're going to get a lot of ideas in the dream state, because they're saying your guides are trying to push you to give you ideas in that way. Do this, do that. That's the dream that they're saying they're trying to do through the dream. See, I'm getting tongue-tied because of this Tankosaur. Ugh. Bit my cheek. It hoits. So yeah. All right. So I think that's what I feel about the dream, is that. And don't discount it, because I think a lot of times you get a lot of ideas and you kind of maybe push them away, or don't really know how to go with an idea. So when it comes to your dream state, it's like, embrace it. Let it fester more. Okay. I kind of just said that to you, love. Slap me silly and call me psychic. Yes, but again, like, allow yourself to get that inspiration from spirit. And it's interesting because that was the collective message, and actually collective message, and the topic today was that. So yeah, please allow yourself to get the information, get the inspiration, and put it to task. Stop questioning everything about that and say to yourself, okay, I had an idea about this, let's write that down and consider it. Be productive with it, you know what I mean? Instead of, oh, what is this? Oh my God, it's obvious what's going on there. It's obvious the Spirit's saying, let go, get information. Okay, gotcha. Don't overly question it where it's like, I don't know. You know, it's like, you do know. It's you got a message from Spirit. It's telling you to let go, to let the inspiration flow through, and say, got it. Let me be more in receptive mode, right? Keep it easy. Keep it easy for you. All right, this one is for Lisa Brumale. Card pull. I know sometimes, Rashida, we got to be like, we all need slaps in the faces sometimes. Somebody's going to be like, hello, it's right in front of us, right? But we're like, but no, I want more. Or, is it? I don't trust myself. And it's like, you have to. Just go with it, right? That's a human condition. But, you know, when you do it more, like we were saying in the very beginning in the collective read, when you do it more, guess what happens? Then you just become a natural at that, you know? Yeah, and Sunday is, what is that? The day of rest, right? So, you got this. You got this. Don't over question it, okay? All right, for Lisa Brumale. Card pull. Okay, let me see the gist of this. She's set in her ways, Lisa. You're set in your ways. You're set in your ways. First of all, I think that you might take a trip. There might be a trip coming soon. What do I feel like? I don't know where it is, but it's a trip. I think you're going to take a trip soon, maybe planning it for next year. But they're saying that you're too set in your ways, Miss Aquarius, which is odd because Aquarius are always fluffy, but you're too set in your ways. I think it's not allowing you to make decisions properly. I think that instead of making decisions on between two things, you just don't do anything, and I think that's what could be causing frustration. And then you just want to run. So allow yourself to make a decision, you know, between two different things. And you know, don't be so set in your ways. Be flexible. And be flexible in a sense of, you know, things can always change. You can change, you know, and the things that you might be afraid to make a decision on, you might end up liking that, provided if you've chosen it. So it really is asking you to consider more. But I think that, you know, taking this trip, or the trip that I'm seeing, this vacation, whatnot, you know, it feels like it's going to be around March. A lot happening in early 2024 for a lot of people. Might be March. You schedule for March, for April, something of that nature around that time frame. I think that vacation is going to help you to kind of like release things, you know, to where you'll be a lot more free. You need a vacation to get that free spirited energy back. I felt you've been so, you know, congested, and like stuck in your ways and not really wanting to make any decisions on things that are outside the box. And that happens. That happens when we feel like we're not really doing what we want to be doing. We stay in the safe zone. They're saying to get out of that. But somehow this trip or vacation that you take will actually help with that. Okay? Oh my gosh, Michelle, you're such a great mom. A back massage? Sign me up. It was good to see you this evening, Michelle. We'll see you next week. And such a lovely mom. A back massage. Such a great mom. Not better than my mom, but a great mom. Okay, so Lisa, hope that makes sense to you. Think outside the box. And whatever you're trying to make a decision on, make one. Don't just run away from it, okay, sweetheart? And we have 2 for you, Lisa. I don't know if that was a mistake. Let me know. And I'm going to close this down, the readings here, because Christopher, what's going on with the energy? I'm still feeling a little heavy and sluggish. What's going on with these planets? You want to fill us in? Christopher. Card pull for Sydney, Aaron. Last but not least. Oh, and actually, no, I'd have one for Beth, too. I have Sydney and Beth is the last two. Night, Michelle. What's 29, Noel? Because boy, oh boy, I've still been like sluggish. Like my energy bandwidth has been so limited. Trying to rest, trying to relax, but then I don't want to relax and rest. Oh, last day of SAD. Let's put this up on the screen here. Thank you. You hear that, guys, in the room? Kind of, it's on board with our collective. It's saying that today's the last day of Sagittarius. We are being tested on our new narrative. Amen to that. Amen to that. It's very heavy. And it's kind of what we were saying before with the collective read about pushing the things away that you don't need to get away that cause heaviness. Right? And so that's important. Interesting, Mrs. Sydney Aaron. I feel like you're gonna have a I don't know if you're in a relationship now. Okay, segments for Anthony. Okay, I'll get that after this one for Anthony. There seems to be, Mrs. Sydney Aaron, you have to bounce between two relationships. So if you're in one, someone else might be coming in that might draw your attention, or two people fight for your attention. So you're gonna have to balance out two relationships. I feel like it's a current and one from the past, and you're gonna have to be very diplomatic about these two relationships. You'll find happiness eventually, and realize along the way that you have everything that you need. Like, you don't really need these relationships if you know at the end of the day, but you'll have to pick one, and you'll have to pick between the two. If not even both, if not even any one of them, you might just say, "Look, I have what I need. I don't need any of these relationships," but you're going to be pushed to a position to pick. Okay, and I think that's very interesting because it's going to keep you kind of busy for a little bit. Okay, it feels more than friends. You know, it doesn't feel like family, but it also feels like it might also interpret into family that you'll have to pick a side between two people. So, but remember, it isn't so much about picking a side, it's being diplomatic and understanding you have what you need, you have good perspective on things, that to make sure you're articulating that, okay? And that you are maybe choosing the side that actually is more beneficial to you, but also makes more sense overall, you know? They're romantic. I feel like they're romantic, yes. And I'd say it also, you also might find yourself too having to be in between two family members as well. But I feel like these are romantic partnerships because the Page of Cups is all about a romantic proposition, and then the Two of Pentacles was in the middle of that with the Two of Cups partnership. That's all partnership. And of course, got 10 of Cups after that, and then with the 9 of Cups. It's all about contentment, having everything you need. So yes, it's romantic to me, and I think you also will have a family dichotomy. So that too. So you're gonna so that's the family I'm talking about too. Okay, so two romantic partnership issues with you, and then the family. That's two cousins. Okay. Yeah, but with them you have to pick a side though. You're gonna have to. There's one actually has a better point of view. Yeah, you're gonna have to pick the side of one though. You know what I mean? It's gonna be diplomatic, but there's someone here at fault. So, for example, if you go to court. I've been watching the people. It's funny. I've been watching the People's Court a lot of my lunch breaks. I don't know why. I've been so attracted to People's Court. It's always the psychology behind things I love watching. But you could be diplomatic in a court case, but there's still a judgment of someone who actually is in favor. Okay? No, but Sydney, I'm talking about it's romantic in the future. You're going to have two interests. Okay? All right? That's future. You're going to have two interests. But it's with your cousins, the family too, but this is clearly a romantic proposition. My read on family was because I was reading that additional to the cards. The cards are all about romantic proposition and the balance. It's both. Because I'm reading like you'll have two romantic interests that you'll be in between. You don't want them falling out of the sky. They will come out of nowhere, but you might have 2 dates, but you're going to be in between. And that's kind of your lesson, though. It's to stop being in the middle, right? But that sees, again, romantic progression, but also, like I was sensing with the family as well, that, you're going to have to pick a side. You're going to have to pick one. And again, like in a court case, you can be diplomatic and understand both sides, but one is a catalyst. And that's what you have to, take a side to help both parties. Okay? Remember, a lot of these card pulls are future too. Remember that. It's not, that's part of being psychic. It's a lot of future stuff, I know a lot of times too, it's very, okay, you did a card pull. What is the question? You sent $20 for a question too. No, you don't know who they are. It's new. You don't. It's no one. It's new. You don't know who they are. No. Yeah, you don't know them now. Like I said, it might be, like I was saying, it might be a past love that comes in and someone new. So like a past interaction you had might come back in this picture, and then like another newer person. You know what I'm saying? So you're dealing with a new and an old type of thing. It will kind of feel like it fell out of the sky. It would kind of feel that way. It would kind of feel that way. Okay, and then your question was, my eldest cousin in Louisiana is going through a lot. My advice for her. So it's funny, the question... falling on your lap, you want to fall in their lap, I would assume, right? Okay, eldest cousin in Louisiana. She's not listening. She's not listening. She's not being... Your eldest cousin is not being aware of her surroundings. See, this is where you're allowing your empathy to go astray. She needs to buckle up, and she needs to start dabbling into the disarray around her. She talks a lot about how things are going wrong, but she's not really doing anything about it. So, I think she's doing the everyday mundane, but she's not like thinking differently or making different decisions. And so that's why things are falling around her. So, and I think that you're coddling her. And again, you have to understand, like, you can be there and feed her energy and give her that kind of uplifting. But if she's not doing anything with it, you're just exhausting yourself because she's not listening. And this is the tough call for a lot of circumstances with people. Sometimes people just have to crash a little bit. Sometimes people have to just go through it. And, what happened here? It's raining men. I can't with you guys. Oh my God. Anyways, back to my read. Because even you are in on it, Sydney, and I'm trying to answer your question. She's not listening. You're going to have to allow her to just crash because she's not listening. She hasn't taken advice. I feel like she craves sympathy, but see, when people give her sympathy, it's not helping. It's just not helping. So, my love, take a step back and let her to experience what her soul needs to experience in order for her to snap out of it. Again, like the collective read, sometimes, again, if you're not listening, your soul will push it hard enough until you wake up. And we can be there to pacify it for them. We can be there to lighten it for them, but it's not helping them. It's just slowing down the process that's going to be inevitable. And that's not helping. So you're going to have to let go. And that's what probably, again, about picking that came in the read before this question, about picking a side. You have to say, you know what? I can't pick her side. I've been through it. I've actually been on both sides. And so sometimes your desire to help doesn't help at all. And I say you, and generally speaking, sometimes our desire to help does not help one bit. And so it just ends up exhausting and of course, enabling and pacifying the other person, which doesn't do anything. It's just slowing the process of the crash. But she's going to have to go through it. It's the only thing that's going to wake her up. She's not listening. So. Yeah, when she crashes. I don't say crash to be disrespectful. It's kind of what's happening. We come down, we crash, and then suddenly we wake up, and so yeah. I mean, that's when she has to. This is the only thing that's going to awaken her. And if not in this lifetime, in the next lifetime, but she has to crash, my love. You know, it's a lot harder on her now not crashing than when she crashes. It's all just, it's going to be like kind of a release, you know, in a sense. But, you know, that's a tough thing. And I've seen people and parents try to change a kid that's just never going to change and holding on hopes for kids that never change. And they're not doing anything but hurting themselves. And then taking the time away from the people they could be engaged with and giving that energy to. So you can have high hopes for people, high hopes for your family and your children and your loved ones. High hopes doesn't mean a damn thing if it's not aligned with the truth. And when it's aligned with the truth, then you understand spiritually, okay, I can't interfere with their karmic lesson. I cannot interfere with their karmic debts. I can't interfere with that. And so then you'll be aware, like, well, I'm actually not helping their cause at all. And you'll take a step back. And you'll just, what you can do is project that. I hope I project they will learn the lesson. They will find themselves through this process. They're going to find themselves. And they will make their own realizations. Many people don't care. They have to make their own realization. And that's with her. She's a stubborn one. I have one more for Anthony and Beth, and I'm like, I feel so heavy in my head. It's been a heavy one. Beth LeSueur. It's almost a year since the jerk squeezed my kneecap, and I still have pain. I'd like to get a MRI, and it gets me upset how unfair it is, how much pain he's caused me, not to mention back pain from his thrusts and elbows, head to heart to nose, which changed my whatever. If I had the strength to take to small claims court, I'd pay for my knee MRI. Would he try to some revenge on me? No, he's not going to do revenge on you. He's just going to deny things, you know, and blame you. That's all he's going to do. So you have two options. One, you go through with any type of physical surgery you're talking about to get the MRI done, or you have to start changing your energy and stop carrying the heaviness, Beth. Because when you carry the heaviness and you can continuously put that stress on yourself, you're actually putting more damage on the body. You know, and so you want to make sure you're not doing that. So you have to find a way to de-stress and let it go. You know, we've talked about this person, and you know, of course, I've told you how this person is, and before you met the person, and so now you have to. And I'm going to be a little hard, tough love here for a moment, but you have to say you still chose the situation, and so you're responsible for that, which means that you should be responsible for your healing too, and you will be, and then you allow yourself to heal from this instead of carrying that. But you know, the time now is to have the insight. The time now is to have insight. So, you know, I did make those bad decisions. Why would I even lie? So I think a lot of your upset comes to the fact that you've made those decisions. And that's okay, because you made the decisions, you can fix them. You made the decision, you can make different decisions. But you have to find a way to stop carrying the stress. But, you know, if you're going to carry the stress and not want to take that message, then go get the MRI done. You know, and push forward on that. You have two choices. You can push forward on it, and he's just going to deny it and call you crazy. And, you know, tell you to prove it, or you can let it go and say, I made some shitty decisions, and I'm gonna heal myself through this process, because it's not permanent damage. You know, I really do think you're reactivating the pain because of the circumstance you're holding on to emotionally. I really don't think there's any permanent damage. It's just out of whack because of the stress, and you're kind of reconnecting the emotional and the physical memory of such. I think that's really what's happening. So when you kind of let go of that, and you do it by taking responsibility, then you'll start seeing things will get a lot better for you in the physical side of things. But he won't retaliate as much. He'll just deny it. He'll deny it. One more. And this is for Lisa. This is Lisa, but it's for Anthony. Where's my other deck? I gotta be careful how I say, where's my other deck? I don't want you to think I have a double phallus going on. Where's my other deck? I think the reads are very simple tonight because I'm so heavy. Aw, look at this comes out for Anthony. Anthony, you love hard, buddy. Clearly. Okay, let me see. I think you're wanting someone to move in with you? If you want your lover to move in with you, you got to get out of your ways. I think you love hard, which is good. And I think that you're very dedicated. And if you want your lover to live with you, you got to make some accommodations. So clearly, we're talking about you and Lisa here, right? You got to make some accommodations. You got to ease up on certain things, and so does your partner at the same time too, as we just read. But I think that you really are a relationship-oriented guy, but I think that because of your past relationships, you're not as flexible as you used to be either. And so if you want to bring a relationship and start and live together in the same household, you got to start making different promises and making different agreements to be able to have that come together. Because you and another partner are kind of both stubborn in different ways. And because you're both stubborn, you kind of both blame each other for your own stubbornness. So be mindful of this and go back to how you used to be about accommodating. It's not, in this circumstance, it isn't about picking this or that. It's about saying, let's make it all work. And, and stepping your foot down. I don't think you're stepping your foot down. I think it might be a child. Maybe not stepping your foot down on a child. A son. 10 of Wands, carrying too much burden. Yeah, you got to step your foot down on things, create more space, for the relationship, making accommodations. You're not really following your heart in a sense. So when the High Priestess comes in reverse, you're not listening to yourself, and you're still kind of keeping yourself to yourself in a sense. That you're kind of, saying, I'm a lover, I love hard, but, I'm kind of still kind of in this, I don't say single mode, but like I'm doing my own thing mode too, but including the relationship. So you got to make some accommodations. And I think once you do, you might realize you're going to, allow I see like a partner moving in, relationship elevating to where that happens. Because they're showing me the Four of Wands, all about like trying to connect the lovers and, the relationship with the residents. And living together, and they're saying, but there's things getting in the way of that, and you're not the only one not being accommodations either. The other, your partner too, is also being a little stubborn. So you both have to meet in the middle. Both have to meet in the middle, and so in this case for you, Anthony, you got to meet in the middle. And I feel a heaviness of a child, or it's a son or something of that nature. Just feels heavy, and you might not be also pushing them enough. You might be making too much excuses surrounding that person. That's what the cards are saying. So you want to make some balanced decisions on it, and I think you'll have what you want. You'll both have what you need, But here's the thing: you guys are so different, but so similar too. When one of you is stubborn, you're fucking stubborn. And when one of you is accommodating, you're accommodating. You guys have similarities like that. Right now, I feel like you guys are kind of both stubborn. So stop it. Okay? And you'll see progression. And when you do, I feel like you guys will decide to move in together. All right? Okay. We are done. I feel like I just ran a marathon right now. And it was kind of light this evening, but I feel like I ran a marathon. Scott, your meeting readings week are so helpful. Thank you so much. Look forward to this connecting. Thank you so much, Sydney. I appreciate that. And remember, yeah, you know what? No, well, mine too. I like to hibernate too. Like I don't really care to be around people, or I'm just like, but I agree. Animals, bears hibernate. So do we humans hibernate. Bada bing, bada boom. Anyways, guys, it's been a wonderful Thursday. It's a pleasure to have everyone in the room here. Take care of your heaviness. Let go of the heaviness that is in your life. Make sure you're allowing yourself to purge that as you know what you need to purge. And so you can actually move forward and have a very healthy balance moving forward in your relationships and in your life overall. I will see you again next Thursday, and that will be after Christmas. So I hope every single one of you guys have a wonderful Christmas. And again, I will see you next live. You are all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? Much love. Ciao.